for more on this closer relationship between Hollywood and China, I spoke to Peter Shiao, founder and CEO of Orb Media, and I asked him whether Hollywood is ready for China.
The simple answer is yes, but they're ready for the version of it that they're ready for.
What do you mean by that version?
Well, I think when you say, is Hollywood ready for China, and the answer is yes. But the version that they're ready for is they're ready to take the Chinese market as a serious market. They're ready to invest. They're ready to localize parts of their global productions to appeal to what will soon to be the world's largest box office market. They're ready to take it off of their charts as a potential and making it a reality. So that's the version of it they're ready for.
And the truth is, it's not just Hollywood. I mean, I was down in Cannes not too long ago, and the Chinese film industry had a massive booth. I mean, they did fireworks, did all kinds of things, and that's, of course, in Europe. But around the world, is China looking for content, or are they looking for expertise?
All of the above. When you're growing at this breakneck speed, you want to take a look at everything. So there's a short-term confusion because the market is getting mixed messages about what they really want. But in reality, the Chinese market is a very big place. So imagine at the early ages of the stages of the internet, you had so many entrepreneurs walking around with .coms that it was confusing. So I think we're in the middle of that. And most people who are speculating will fail, but some will succeed wildly. And those are the ones we tend to pay attention to. Okay. And certainly I'm hoping to be one of them. I
want to be fair because there are huge opportunities, but there's also challenges as well. Let's just take Transformers, Michael Bay, for example, in China. Look, the movie itself, they had a number of scenes from China in that movie, but at the same time, after the movie was done and the distribution was over, then there's this lawsuit about saying they didn't pay the amount necessary to get the copyright or to get the authorization to use some of those scenes. What's going on here? Is it a miscommunication, or T's and I's aren't being dotted? And is this fair to sort of assume that both sides know what each other want?
Well, you know what? I think in the final analysis, Transformers 4 was a major success for almost everybody involved. It's really hard to imagine that with this commercial success, anyone would be left behind or that project would be considered a loser. Now, when you do these complicated $100 million, $200–300 million plus productions that doesn't even include the marketing budgets, it gets messy when you do things cross-culturally. But I think once again in the final analysis, it's raised the bar very, very high for all the other Hollywood studios on how they're going to exploit their global franchises and involve China. So I think you got a lot of people in this town scratching their heads. And of course, and the folks in China are thinking a different thought, which is, wow, this is really interesting. It's not even that great of a movie, but look at the kind of influence, look at the kind of money it made. How can we have one of those? And that's really what they're thinking.
You look at a company like DreamWorks and a number of Hollywood production sites. I mean, they have facilities around the world, and there are some that are concerned that the U.S., Hollywood in particular, is going to outsource some of that production overseas. Do you think that's a fair concern?
Well, you know, that concern's been going on for some time, and here in this town, we've known that, I think it's calling exporting productions, that Hollywood productions have been exported all over the world and all over the country where they're the most favorable tax environment, and China certainly is part of that equation as well, but it's also not just to China. It's been happening to Canada. California has been losing out to all the major states for quite some time, and China is just another piece of that equation.